All right, folks, we need to talk about something serious, Social Security, and, believe it or not, Elon Musk's potential involvement in it. Yeah, I know, sounds wild, but stick with me here. This is about your money, your benefits, and making sure you don't wake up one day to find your payments mysteriously delayed or, worst case, gone. And trust me, with everything going on, that's not as far-fetched as it sounds. Now, before we get into the details, do me a quick favor. If you rely on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or just want to stay informed on how these government programs affect you, hit that subscribe button. I break things down in plain English, no financial jargon, no political fluff, just the facts that matter to you and your wallet. All right, here's the deal. Right now, the Social Security Trust Fund sits at around $2.83 trillion. That's the money that's been paid in over the years by American workers like you and me. And according to reports, Elon Musk's team has been granted access to the U.S. Treasury's payment system, yes, the system that processes Social Security payments. The official reasoning? To crack down on fraud, waste, and abuse. Sounds good in theory, right? I mean, nobody likes fraud. But when billionaires and politicians start poking around with the system, you gotta ask, what's really going on here? So now, I'm not here to scare you, but history tells us that when government benefits get reviewed, it usually doesn't end well for the people who need them most. And if Elon Musk's team, which reportedly includes young, tech-focused employees, doesn't fully understand how critical these benefits are, we could see mass confusion, delays, and unnecessary panic. And yeah, you heard that right, Musk's team. They've been brought in under a government efficiency initiative, but we don't actually know much about who is working on this system. What we do know is that the Treasury's payment system contains information on every single Social Security recipient, including those on retirement, disability, and survivor benefits. That means, in theory, if they mess with something, they could affect payments to millions of people. So let's talk about the money. Musk has publicly said he wants to cut $2 trillion in government spending. Now, we don't know exactly where he wants to make those cuts, but let's be real, it's not coming from the defense budget. That means programs like Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid are always at risk. Now, former President Trump has promised no cuts to Social Security retirement benefits. That's what he says, and we'll hold him to it. But that still leaves disability benefits, SSDI, as a possible target. Right now, about 7.6 million people rely on SSDI, and the program costs roughly $118 billion annually. If Musk's team wants to cut spending, disability benefits might be the first thing on the chopping block. And here's where things could get ugly. Normally, people on disability go through what's called a continuing disability review, CDR, every few years to prove they still qualify. But if Musk's team starts rolling out mass disability reviews, we could see the system totally overwhelmed. And let me remind you, the Social Security Administration is already short-staffed and struggling with backlogs. If they suddenly flood the system with a wave of new reviews, people who genuinely need benefits might face huge delays, or worse, lose them entirely. Now, I'm not saying this is definitely what's happening, but here's something to think about. For decades, there's been talk of privatizing Social Security, basically taking that $2.83 trillion trust fund and handing it over to Wall Street. And we've seen before that when a system gets overloaded and stops working, politicians start pushing for alternatives. Could that be the end game here? Look, I'm not trying to stir the pot, I just want you to stay informed and prepared. If you're on disability benefits, make sure you stay on top of any paperwork that comes your way. If you get a review notice, fill it out and send it in ASAP. And for everyone else, now is the time to stay vocal. If you're worried about potential changes to Social Security, call your representatives. Let them know these benefits are not a handout, they're something you've earned. My hope? That Musk and his team handle this responsibly. But if they're just here to shake things up and cut costs at the expense of vulnerable Americans, we have to push back. I'll be keeping an eye on this and bringing you updates as soon as I know more. If you found this helpful, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next update. Stay safe, stay informed, and as always, you're appreciated.